I like being
I'm way up in
second.
the line. You go first.
I'm on auto.
Well, should do it.
I can't think of the topic of the trademark.
Oh, when you're down.
Hey man, how's it going? My name's Rich.
Hey,
Good, welcome.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Rich. Hey Josh, welcome.
You got this.
Good to see you. How's it going?
It's
Rich.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
hey, nice to see you again.
Hey, you
Alex.
7:30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Okay, good.
I think you usually start by 7, but you know, 1 o'clock. Yeah, get yourself ready to go. We won't start until you're ready, because I do some announcements. It's gonna be a good meeting. God will be good for us.
I might read the YouTube, but I'm not sure.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah, my friend Judy was not able to make it.
Hey, somebody have
We'll
an
see if
extra
she
pen I
might.
can borrow for a moment?
Okay.
He's running around in a Mercedes somewhere.
Ooh, now I know who to steal a car from.
Well, it's just a rental.
Oh,
That's funny.
even better, because then it doesn't cost anybody.
I told her you don't want to park out in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Was having gobbledygook.
You gotta sign it. And put the date there, because that'll make this my ephemera, you know?
All right.
Hey,
Harold.
how you doing?
Sit right down there and call your
We're pleased to see you here. I like this painting.
Yeah, that's all the life tools. You look it up. This guy Sterling developed this based on ancient technologies and modern designs. Yeah. A variety of them. They have like really big ones. Do
Been there
I was gonna say,
bridge behind.
but I'm trying to be innocent.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Oh, that is the pen. Oh, alrighty. Oh, any number you like?
As long as it's a number, a whole number, not an integer. We don't sign up next to integers, nor irrational numbers.
Oh, wait, are you sitting here?
No, but you can't.
Okay. Oh, yeah, go over there. That's the page. That's the page.
How about prime numbers? I'm prime numbers.
Prime? Okay, we got some primes in there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin, and I will begin my patter. One of the things I always say is that I want to welcome to Sacred Grounds, like I said, longest running poetry open mic that we know of, 40 some odd years, long time. If you like the food you have or like the venue, please give a round of applause to our hosts, Teddy and Leona. Leona's back there, Teddy's making the pizzas. If you like pizza, they serve pizza. So it's very good.
Let's see what else is there. Oh, yes. If you have a cell phone, like you know I have, now's the time to go like this. A good teacher always models. So we have the sign up. Oh, Mr. Natural came in with the camera, so that's live streaming, so be aware of that. So you shouldn't make rude gestures or talk about what you did during the Vietnam War that was illegal, because they'll still get you. We have our fabulous prizes, so let me just go through that right now. Julia Vinograd,
Knight, this is a good poet, very good poet.
Yeah.
Fred Norman.
Sorry about that. Wait a minute, this would not be a prize.
Kicking them around the room.
Oh, no, this is mine, sorry. It's a great book, but I can't put it in the prize category. And if you're interested in the years 1904 to 1911, you should read Growing by Leonard Bluth. The Viceroy of Ouida by Bruce Chatwin. I have not read this by the author of In Patagonia, so I am not familiar with it, but it was donated to me to donate to you, your mind and mine. The Dirt Road is Here, Art and Poetry from Native California. So this is a very good and interesting book. It has native poetry in it. I didn't have a chance to really look at it except for a couple of things. And you'd like to take a look at the illustrations. Nicely done, quality book.
Yay, thank you. And speaking of
Native issues, we have 2 issues of Native magazine. This is California Native, right? And Stephanie brings these in and other things such as Sierra Magazine. So these 3 magazines are here for our prizes. Now, there's also this. I colored this card up. This is the mini feature. The mini feature. So if you pick this card, instead of one of those, you say, I would like to be the mini feature next week, and boom, you're the mini feature next week. I don't know, who's the mini feature this week? Did I write that down?
Oh, Marissa
Evans.
All right.
Anisha Thompson, she's the name. That's right. And this is a new prize. This is a brand new prize. It is the keynote opening. So if you want, instead of one of the books, you want this, you say, I would like this, and then you have to show up the following week and bring a 3-minute poem by some other poet, a classic poem, and you are actually first. You come up, you read that, and if you want to still be in the open, you still can be. But this is just you come up and read a classic poem by someone who is famous, dead, that means something to you, but it can't be yours. It has to be somebody else. That's the only thing. So these are those two. I'm ready to go. I hope you are. Bye-bye. Is there anything else? No, there's nothing else. All right, so give a round of applause. We have a new person coming. Are you ready?
I like 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Let me tell you my favorite political joke. George W. God, I thought everybody would know that one. The gift that keeps on giving, just like syphilis and gonorrhea. Except he's offensive. All right, so let's see if there's anything else. Oh, there is a theme for the evening. The theme for the evening is passages. Passages. So if you have something like that.
This evening?
This evening only.
Oh, okay, I'll try to come up with
If
something.
you have something like that. I announced it on the Facebook page, and I just started doing that today. I figured I could say it, people might bring something in. If they have it, fine. If not, then it's okay. But passages. All right, so let me see what else is there here. Lights, camera, action. Oh, I could tell you the people who are have said their regrets. Ow.
Hey, can somebody help her with the door?
Oh, hi. Thank you. And we got some people popping in here. All right. So, sending their regrets.
Hey, Marissa, how are you?
Good.
Karl Marx, Mark Antony, Anthony Quinn, Quentin Tarantino, Ralph Cramden, Gloria Swanson, Margaret Mead, Mr. Deeds, Dudley Do-Right, Snidely Whiplash, the Brooks Brothers, Mel Brooks, and the Smothers Brothers, along with the Brothers Graham and the Grim Reaper, singing One More Time for You, as it was sung in the old movies of that era, 1942, 1943, circa black and white.
Some of those names have been recycled from previous.
Yes, there's Margot Hemingway and Fred Astaire who also couldn't come because they were busy doing just that thing.
I came here to see Margaret Mead.
She said she would be here, but she's in traffic. All right, so this evening we're talking about 6 to 7 minutes, at least for the moment, because we have a limited audience here. I think we can be expansive. If things change, I'll announce the change. If a lot of people come in, we'll go back to 5 minutes. So we're doing a little bit like that because I figured, I usually have a stick wad for all sorts of things, but I won't be a stick wad about that, at least until people show up and make me become a stick wad. Stick wad. It's a great word. I just made it up. Okay, so are you?
Oh, I'm ready, yeah.
He is ready. So this is a first time for Alex. Make a loud and raucous noise as he comes up here.
Thanks a lot, guys. So I was gonna exercise the 7-minute rule there, but I think we'll just do a really short one to start off. Get my feet wet here.
All right.
So my name is Alex Sack, and I'm a cab driver in San Francisco.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And as you know, San Francisco is a collection of villages.
Yes.
And some engage you in a bromance. 8:55 a.m. Just dropping on Polk Street. I picked up a flag in the hate, some 20-something dude. It's one of those guys who thinks he's relating to the blue-collar cabbie by addressing him as buddy. These rides are particularly fun at end of ride, as the relationship has to be secured as a bromance. I start the volley, and Ashton does not disappoint. Okay, have a good one, I say, as I sort my $15 bounty into my cash roll and mark my way bill. Thanks, buddy. You too, Ashton says, fumbling through his gym bag, looking for something with the door ajar. All right. Okay. Stay cool. Sure. See ya. Next time. Right. Okay. Take it easy. Yeah. Have a good one. Cool.
Close the damn door.
Fucking finally. Action snaps 2 and gets the hell out. Jeez.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
Not a 7-minute one.
I know, but that's all right. You let us gave us a taste of the real world. All right, let me just read the next few that are coming up so they are aware that I am aware that they are aware that I'm aware. I'll get back to you on that. Buford, then Ricardo, then Owen. We got Josh, Stephanie, Harold, then Jack, Edvard, who is here, Edvard. Then me, then Marcia, before our willing feature of the evening. Mr. Bill Mercer is going to be presenting. We didn't have an official feature. The person kind of backed out or didn't make their confirmation, so he said he would step in to the breach. So, give Buford a round, please, as he comes up here to give us his log, or his version of his log. As they say in France, Hallelujah, brothers.
This is about my brother. This is called Mike and the Accident. Mike still holding on, 2 fingers missing, calling for a little cash. Mike throwing a baseball fast at 16, gripping horsehide, cork, round, wound together. Mike, my brother, fingers burned, tightened, then gone. Can you spare me $300, Mike asked, pain in his voice, plaintively crying for some respect after all these years of dependence, living in a town with slim economics and a rip-off government, sleazy owners of the means of production, what Marx would call the ruling class. Mike holding on to a leaky roof and no Social Security until October 14th, waiting for a better day.
Nice.
This is a little bit of, this is about Atlanta, where I lived for about 4.5 years. Atlanta was a whole different situation, a new big city, new job after a couple of months there, and meeting someone who would happily take my virginity from me, as well as another woman who wouldn't be the first, who would be the first romantic adventure with an African American woman. Lee was bisexual and the head of the Atlanta Lesbian Feminist Alliance. She was about as young as me, only around 3 years younger, and I would lose my virginity to her on her 20th birthday. I was extremely happy to be her, I hope, most interesting birthday present. About 6 months before my 24th birthday, she was an early version of that to me. Sometime later, after we had engaged our passionate embrace together, I came into a student bar there at Emory University where I was sitting, drinking my favorite thing at the time, a beer, and she approached and smiled, not as much smiling as we had done, I hope, in the several times during that period when we made love, but a nice, friendly one. She came over to where I was living, and I offered her to go through the door in a traditional, quote, gentlemanly, quote, way. She said, "It's your place, why don't you go in first?" I did. All right. Let's see. Well, how much time? Are we doing long-term term?
Yeah, you got another 3 minutes.
Oh, okay, good.
Knock yourself out, as they say.
All right.
They do say a lot of things with grants, don't they?
Okay, I'd like to do this because this is Ginsberg's Sunflower Sutra. This is my favorite poem. I walked on the banks of the Tin Can Banana dock and sat down under the huge shade of the Southern Pacific locomotive to look at the sunset over the Box House Hills and cry. Jack Kerouac sat beside me on a rusty iron pole, bleak and blue and sad-eyed, surrounded by the gnarled steel roots of trees of machinery. Oof. The oily water on the river mirrored the red sky. Sun sank on top of final Frisco peaks. No fish in that stream, no hermit in those mountains, just ourselves, roomy-eyed and hung over like old bums on the riverbank, tired and wily. Look at the sunflower, he said. There was a dead gray shadow against the sky, big as a man, sitting dry on top of a pile of ancient sawdust. I rushed up enchanted. It was my first sunflower, memories of Blake, my visions, Harlem, and the hills of Eastern River, bridges, clanking Joe's, greasy sandwiches, dead baby carriages, treadless tires, forgotten then, the poem of the riverbank, condoms and pots, steel knives, nothing stainless, only the dank muck and razor-sharp artifacts passing into the past, and the gray sunflower poised against the sunset, crackly, bleak and dusty with the smut and smog and smoke of old locomotives in its eye. Corolla of blurry spikes pushed down and broken like a battered crowd, seeds falling out of his face, soon to be toothless mouths of sunny air, sun rays obliterated on its hairy head like a dry spider web. Leaves stuck out like arms out of the stem, gestures from the sawdust root, broken pieces of plastic falling out of the black twigs, a dead fly in his ear. Unholy, battered thing, you were my sunflower, oh my soul, I loved you then. The grind was no man's grind, but death and human locomotives. All that dress of dust, that veil of darkened railroad skin, that smog of cheek, that eyelid of black misery, the sooty hand or phallus or protuberance of artificial, worse than dirt, industrial, modern, all that civilization spotting your crazy golden crown, and those blurry thoughts of death and dusty, loveless eyes and ends and withered roots below in the home pile of sand and sawdust, rubber dollar bills, skin of machinery, the guts and innards of the weeping, coughing car, the empty, lonely tin cans, their rusty tongues that lack. What more can I name? The smoked ashes of some cock cigar, the cunts of wheelbarrows and the milky breasts of cars, worn out asses of chairs and sphincters of dynamos, all of these entangled in your mummied roots, and you there standing before me in the sunset, all of your glory in your form. A perfect beauty of a sunflower, a perfect, excellent, lovely sunflower existence, a sweet natural eye in the new ship moon, woke up alive and excited, grasping in the sunset shadow, sunrise, golden monthly breeze. How many flies buzzed around you, innocent of your grind, while you cursed the heavens of the railroad and your flower soul? Poor dead sunflower, when did you forget that you were a flower? When did you look at your skin and decide that you were an impotent, dirty old locomotive, the ghost of a locomotive, the specter and shade of a once powerful, mad American locomotive? You were no locomotive, sunflower. You were a sunflower. And you, locomotive, you were a locomotive. Forget me not. So I grabbed up the skeleton, thick sunflower, and stuck it at my side like a scepter, and delivered my sermon to my soul and Jack's soul and anyone who listened. We're not skin of grime. We're not dead, dread, bleak, dusty, imageless locomotives. We're golden sunflowers inside, blessed by our own seed, and hairy, naked accomplishment bodies growing into mad black formal sunflowers in the sunset, spied on by our own eyes under the shadow of the mad locomotive riverbank sunset frisky hilly tin can evening sit down fishing. These are about the best poem in the English language.
Knocked it out. All right. This brings us to Ricardo, then Owen, then Josh, then Stephanie, then Harold, then Lawrence of Arabia.
All right.
The Great Despair. Hi family, I love you. Hi Monique, hi Sophia, hi Shinobia, hi Gail, hi Deborah, hi Naisha, hi Tamisha. Hi children, love you. Hi Sean, hi Camardi, hi King, hi Queen, hi T, I love you Terrence. Hi Arkell, hi Jaden, love Dad, love your cousin Rich, love your brother Rich. I finished a piece called The Great Despair a couple years ago, and I remember sitting with Charles Sheen talking about it. I don't think people got it. And it takes a while for the message to sink in, for people to get it. There you go. 2013 Noah. And giving a shout to the great actor, director, Academy Award earning actor Russell Crowe. Assistant. I love everybody. Alone. Nobody. I love you. Noah, humanity has a rotten soul. I take half now. Half walks. Orange, her avalanche, her inundars. Wisdom, faith, self, child. The American Civil War, 2012, San Francisco, the war for humanity. Love, American Poeta, Charles Bukowski, Maurice Gibb. Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to Harold and Marissa. Wow, Harold, you lead a great poetry for the people class at San Francisco City College. Last night's class was one of the most enjoyable times that I've had really in years. It's a wonderful class. Marissa is there, is the resident intellectual activist, and it was a lot of fun. It was very, very meaningful. So thank you. The Great Despair, we lose half of humanity, we start over. We lose half walks. And what walks means is, and this is the good news, walking into God. Daughter of Africa, walking humanity into God. The end of biological death. My sister Monique is 20 years younger than me. Our daughter, our daughter's generation walks humanity into God. Monique's generation will walk into God. The end of biological death. Now, what about our generations? Can we walk into God? I think that we can. I think that the opportunity is there if we have the initiative. And what is required is leadership and inspiration. President Kennedy talked about a revolutionary spirit. And I believe it was Jesse Jackson who wrote that inaugural address that President Kennedy gave. And what I'd like to ask Jesse Jackson is, when the Spirit was guiding his hand, was he thinking of the United States of America? Was he thinking about America? What was he thinking about that inspires? American. Heaven is above, looking down on you. From God, my angel. From the beginning of time, love was before. My spirit given, you found. Love Trinity walks. America. Love American Poeta. Charles Bukowski, Maurice Gibb, Monique Butler. Sacred Grounds, thank you. Poet each, thank you.
That brings us to Owen Dunkel. Then we have Josh, Stephanie, Harold, and Lauren Paul. She's making a special.
That's when it just went away.
Well, it's not Lauren Bacall, excuse me, it's Henry David Thoreau. I get those two mixed up all the time. Jeez.
What do you think?
Poem at Starbucks. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Poem at Starbucks. The day struck obbligato, sound smash, punishment, the streets ajar to my soul. A soul sits quietly, not the open-mouthed passion that sits next to gibberish. Gibberish ajar on the obligation of silence, quietude. At the Trieste, the day sits upon the flesh of flamenco. Trieste. Night glows, traffic ebbs and flows, red taillights wink and blink into the darkness. The night is silent and aglow. Only I know, no one else is aware of my devil-may-care, absent-mindedness. The night closes, red lights till dawn. Sleep. Ah, Morpheus. The winding dusk has entered its stay upon my eyelids. Sleep, I thought I sought you in vain. I would make an insomniac's prayer upon you. You are like the March wind, you come and go. I have sought you in vain. I toss and turn in bed. You are the god Morpheus, just somewhere in antiquity. Outside my window I can count the stars, almost like counting sheep. I lie awake and seek you in vain. You come when you want. My eyes are open, rarely closed to dream a bit. I to sleep, perchance to dream. Sonnet at Starbucks. Ballroom, rust, love, laugh, orisons, kooky, lend me your comb. Val hornets, Berkshire jumpers, a sturdy calliope. The herd becomes a stallion, King Farouk, hookah joy descending. It all happens here. Lines matriculate on the sky. Rockin' Roberts, papers away. God in heaven rejoiced. Hallelujah, 20 years after the Hallelujah chorus, another sleepy hollow day. Buses rumble to the sound of nothing. China Basin going somewhere. The flute becomes a mystic. Al Jarvis, the make-believe hall of mirrors. Man is champion of the imagination. Fog. The fog is like moisty cement. It covers hours near the ocean, as inevitably it will blow away. Couplet at Starbucks. The day plods by like a farmer. The sun sits on a metamorphosis of folly. Couplet for Cathedral. Sad buttresses fly across the air. It careens erratically upward to reach for a god of sky. Palms. Only the chatting midnight rain beats down from its sultry showers. It rates a unicorn upon its sultry towers, chimes from its nocturne time and again, wetting its lips upon my eaves of pain. Its cold branches tell of the hours. Laughter and lust become ill, sour as the bleak covenant we call the sea. Gods and princesses all begat, a nimby-voiced, goat-bearded boy. Odysseus set sail, we never sat along your passions and penance. Destroy the harp of plenty we plucked through the day standing, with the sun at dew. Tool. At rest from the morning after the day before, I arose, threw my clothes in the closet, askew on the bed, the floor, the rafters, some rainy, smoky calling, a mindless disaster, a peculiar day subjecting my books anew to my hand's rough trade. Overdue piles and minions going faster now than before, my eyes awry in new space. Clothes hangers hang with ease, 5 feet of sky alone against a wall. North anger now widens its cold sleet down upon the street. Empty full, this town. Orb. That ball of fire, the sun, walks by the sky. My mind sidesteps a small charging minotaur of pleasure. Sunday, quiet as a tombstone, goes back and forth like a doomsday rock, washed over by the waves as flies hug and hover over the piles of seaweed. Midday plods by like a mule with sun-drenched, contented blinders. Spring. Spring trajectory, cake sails, sour forth clouds, flap the sky, the miracle maid swimming, born to be alive, cancer sticks, please peace, you seem so fine and full, the wan waves foretell the future, beg now, pay later, elock the glace to God, and the seashells sing to their motley wise, river donor cactus can say my last syllables, beg the air for more, the trajectory the wind tells you, feel them, the end is near 2 more times, death of the maiden, last till dawn. Hey, thank you.
So we have Josh coming up here, Engel, right? Eagle. Oh my God, I did wear my glasses. So he's going to give us a couple of songs because we're having a little stretch this evening, so that's nice. And then we got Stephanie, Harold, Jack, Ed, Barb, myself, Marcia, and Bill Mercer, who is stepping in to give us a little extra feature of his particular set of mind.
A few extra innings.
Few extra innings, as he said. And I say, what's it, avocado you were saying? Not avocado. Persimmon, what was it? What? No, what's that word you were saying?
What was I saying?
Some kind of vegetable. Repeat it over and over.
Artichokes.
Artichokes, yeah. Never mind. All right, so
If in
give him
doubt,
a round.
I'll
This is his first time here.
All right.
There we go. Cool.
Hydrogen bomb mixed with oxygen air. On the sun.
Thank you, Josh. And now Stephanie, then Harold, then Jack, and the Lord of the Dance.
Dan, is that the streaming address right there?
That is supposed to be it. Yes, but there's, I have a different one that might be easier to find. There we go. The recent feature here, I'll have you know, is Stephanie Manning.
Hey Josh, did you write that song?
Yeah.
Ooh, beautiful. Thank you. Reminded me of tunes we used to hear back in the 70s.
Cool.
Just a couple of announcements. First of all, if you're interested in these readings, take one of these. There's going to be an annual Labor Day poetry potluck at Live Oak Park in Berkeley, which I attend, and it's very nice. Several people from San Francisco go to that one.
It's a good,
in the
place,
woods.
good venue,
It's a creek.
trees, food, fun, poetry.
Yeah, it's a regular open mic type thing.
Yeah.
And then our monthly first Saturday of the month reading is coming up on September 6th at La Promenade Cafe on Balboa out near 36th Street across from the Balboa Theater. And our features this time are Don Altadena and Wendy Walters of Dan and
It's Dawn? I didn't know it was Dawn.
Yes, Don.
Okay. Go. You'll love it. You'll
Yeah.
love it.
And Wendy ain't bad.
No, Wendy and Dad.
Wendy's good.
You'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Good.
And they have good food there too. And then also, since I'm a member of Ina Coldbridge Circle over in Contra Costa County, they're having a poetry contest and the deadline is coming up soon. So if you're interested in entering that at all, I'm going to leave the entry form here on the...
All right.
Yes.
And I will hope to post, I could take this and maybe post it on the Facebook
that'd
thing.
be
And
good.
then there's another competition that I noticed that someone told me about, so I'll put them both there.
Cool.
All right.
Then they also have luncheon associated with that, but it's expensive. And if you can do the bill, it's good because they read a lot of poetry. So let's see. So today was the first day of school, and I resumed my commute from Berkeley to Davis, which will happen 5 days a week for the next 10 months. And
Oh my God.
and so you might see a little of that in my poetry. So here I have two. Here the first one is called Estimated Time of Departure. Who knows if the babies will be born this year? Seeds are not germinating. Rain is not falling. The dirt atop tectonic plates fails. Erections collapse. Guns go off. Teenagers and small children die. We step back in awe at the decay of the prostate and video evidence of the police state, while Facebook fills with the faces of working people and poets tell truth to power. We are like crowds of emaciated Japanese running to flee an invading monster bent on destruction. It would be funny if the monster was fiction and we were being paid to scream. But the monster was born inside of us, nurtured on fear, anger, and impatience, intolerance and hatred, and an abiding ignorance of collective human needs. A train is waiting in the station that will take us to the promised land, to the sacred grounds. The urgency to board it is great. Seconds are ticking as the conductor gives the final all aboard. The great wheels of the engine are beginning to roll, and I gaze out the window as we leave. Why do I see you driving away from the station? Here's one called Calling on the Muse. The basket-colored grasses of California's Great Central Valley are tinder dry, and although Suisun Creek is full, Suisun Marsh lies dry and parched in the shadow of Mount Diablo, miles to the south, on the opposite side of the delta, the Contra Costa. Large, barren acres normally submerged lie dry and waiting. Still beautiful, this landscape fills the soul of all who pass it. So, small flocks of birds returning at summer's end search for puddles to drink from and habitat to support them. Instinct has brought them here as in generations past. Will the birds see man's hand in the earth's degradation? Will they even recognize this place in years to come, such as next year? Fly, birds, fly, carry my thoughts high into the heavens, so they may transcend the sound of the roiling chariots. Thanks.
goes to Harold, and then Jack. Come on up, Harold.
Harold.
Informal welcome.
The first one is an emulation of a Walt Whitman poem, Song of Myself. I am not my sisters, my father, my mother. There's more than one atom in me, entering, departing. When I die, the 14 carbon in me will decay with a half-life of about 5,730 years, if a sopilote doesn't pick at me first. I do share DNA strands, some memories, our home in Pacoima, next to Richie Valens' aunt, and later in Reseda, near the hospital Chick Hearns died in. But I was never a wetback. Twice, Guatemala, Mexico, before entering and approaching San Diego with an 8-month child in my belly, leaving 2 daughters behind, not even once. I did not shed any tears on September 11, walk, breathe, look, dress any differently afterwards. I was sad for the families, but could not feel their sorrow, grief. I wish it wouldn't have happened. Too bad it happened. It was bound to happen. La bondad no debe cumplirse con la sumisión. It was a case of the chickens coming home to roost. Cesar was randomly picked 12 straight times on domestic flights with his U.S. passport on hand on his annual normal company flights. I only waited 5 hours in line for a 56-minute flight to L.A. to watch Sade perform the following Friday, live at the Great Western Forum. My universe is ever expanding from the Big Bang, like blowing into a soap bubble. I never met Papa Bo, but I know who he is. My uncle who lived in la casa de Colón, cerca de la quebradita que se une en el río de Guazapa, donde los balazos más modernos rompieron su cerebro enfrente del cuarto de mi hermana mayor, while I was enjoying a Dodger dog, wearing my new Dodger cap, wondering what $1 million a day could bring to our family. Someone took a picture of him in the casket. He had a tear running down his face. The dead are just as saddened by this as the living, someone said. Sometimes I don't understand my mom bringing up these words she calls Spanish, making up English words, laughing at my on-the-fly Spanish. I hear my sisters laugh, gringo, pasmado, gabacho, americano, but she somewhat kind of remembers the Cadejo, la Cihuanaba, el Cipitillo. My mom only learned how to make pupusas, edible ones, last year, after 2 years of making rice rock paperweights with beans. My sister's still teaching my mom how to make curtido. I, as always, bring the cola champagne and the 7-Up. Whether I'm wearing a guayabera or the Berkeley sweatshirt with Berkeley in bold letters, singing Piano Man on campus with my cow backpack holding the Norton anthology of anything written in English, I will be asked if I speak English in what appears to be Spanish. The big crunch begins to explode. Jose asked me where I was from, y en qué parte de Mexico que El Salvador. We watched a lot of Scooby-Doo, the A-Team, listened to Depeche Mode and Shakira before the Red Album and the blonde hair. A lot of times Miguel will only charge me $1 for a large coffee because I am a student. I tip him with un cubole and $1, but he always gives my sister free cookie without a purchase and a raised eyebrow. I went to see Harvard and MIT singing Julio Jaramillo, but Cheers looks nothing like it does on TV. So I came back to Berkeley with my sister, who graduated at Sellerbach in Latin American Studies and Spanish Literature, and led me to the Greek Theater because our dad's degree turned into toilet paper when he stepped onto San Diego. I am not my father, my sisters, my mother, but on the drive through Livermore, Mama Licha pointed to the birds circling above us. Parece sopilote. I'm having a poem that I wish I could have written for somebody who went to it, and it's called You So Woman by Ruth Foreman. Lady, when your purple heels hit concrete, Afro swing, cool jazz hot baby, strumming by, cry, amen. So holy, preacher, stutter, thigh so righteous, pews jump up in, catch the spirit and hymns speak in tongues. So sweet bees leave the daffodils behind. For honey you made table sugar taste sour, and Mrs. Buttersworth show can't find a damn thing to say when you're around. Looking so good, cockroaches ask you to step on them so they can see heaven before and after they dying. You love your people so much. If you was on a pilgrimage, the Sahara Desert will run into the Atlantic just to make sure you don't get thirsty, and camels would kiss you for choosing their back. But Africa done got you. We do, and glad to. So girl, just keep on making the sunset procrastinate and give the rainbows a complex. You a silk earthquake, you a velvet hurricane, and girl, you so woman, I'd be damned if you don't put a full moon to shame.
Thank you, Harold. All right, that brings us to Jack. Then we have Ed Bard, myself, and Marcia Gander for our feature.
Yeah, got a bunch of quotes. Maybe take a little time. You won't have to sit there so much my portrait. The Code of Laws common to all the courts of law in the English, French, and Provençal dominions of the 12th century. A couple of things. There's a bunch of them, but two of them are. Marriage is not justifiable plea for the refusal of love. And he who cannot keep a secret knows not how to love. Anyway, here's something from Ezra Pound. For I would rather have my sweet, though rose leaves die of grieving, than do high deeds in Hungary to pass all men's believing. And, Robinson Jeffers, the deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. And this is from a book called The Human Side of Plants. Flower light may be easily seen by anyone who will but have the patience to wait and watch for it. However, all do not see it equally well, and for this many claim to see it. That to see it, one must be possessed of abnormal sight. And then they mention these flowers. Pokeweed gives forth a dark greenish luster. Scarlet poppy emits tiny waves of reddish light after sundown. Snowdrop, that's a flower, emits light to a pronounced degree. Its drooping blossoms appear almost as many dim electric bulbs. Alamo weed gives forth a strong light, a steady glow. And the author of this is unknown to me. It's the flame of the lover's touch that does the trick that undoes undoing. And I don't know who wrote that. Somebody. And this is from Jack Hirschman. We can't kill anything but the loneliness interim. Bohemian, hapless, sensitive, doomed to be true to some artistic penchant from the infant imagination, restless hearts in deceptive time, exploring the joys of futility, and constantly coming up against thoughtless mind, frustrated feelings, not knowing which aspects of chaos are due to innocent ignorance, and which to deliberate deception, so needing to constantly revise, reinterpret pencils ever cast with replacement erasers. Thus, watchful awareness is tinged with the headlong headiness of riding a borderland between immense eternal currents, like a parasailer coursing at once on liquid and fluid seas. This is Marco Harps. I don't know if he's going to be here, but he's one of my roommates. This is called DeMarco Harps. I see it as clear as though right now the sailor lean out o'er the slick port bow and into the spindrift play his harpoon, and the blue whale cow roll over and swoon. Well, no sweeter blues had I heard blown till I came to a port on the western brim, saw a tall street busker. Ah, what rhythm and tone! It was pure elation just to listen to him. He might be here.
Yeah, he said he
This is called Semi-Retired. Yes, everyone's headed to work, a thing I may largely now shirk. May they have easiest shifts with energy left to give lifts to spirits beleaguered by stress when, after 8 hours, no less, they lurch toward their job site's egress. Let them honestly deal with a mess of unfulfilled self-worth expressed with some light-faded functionary, a lot sympathetically harried to win them a healing caress. This is called the true cure. That the American mammalian animal libido should be so sorry-eyed as to blame the funk on we and minimal panache of desk jockeys non-unionized on some systemic disorder that needs chronic quack pill tranks when really, if you've never felt bored or tell sedentary stress no thanks, by going for a run, skate, swim, a half hour, even days, not hurrying, in stoic, masochistic grin, yet lends vim Epicurean, endorphins and aphrodisiac, things office workers even lack. But now that we have mastered strength, for other poets' gift less porridge, I could its wanting show at length. So point to epic bards for courage. When strength and courage have been tried, till cunning's learned how to deflect incoming space rocks 6 miles wide, like that which dinosaurs rain wrecked, it may be time, after a sigh of vast relief, a rarity for mad mankind, to see passion's opposite, to passion's opposite polarity from confrontative lust. Why don't we say desire? When strength resolves to trust in gentleness, the fire of peace is fed with hope, and courage with combat needn't cope, just flirting's turned down, it's elemental. Getting turned down by the sweetheart you want, quickly transcended with your poet's help, who swims through a love sea of coffee house fonts, fleeing those tangled in heartbroken kelp, reanimating desires alive, rhyming of long ago double rejection, once when his two loves met, to survive which flirt till you luck on a union connection.
Now Ann Bard will come up here, and both James and myself, and Marcia, and Bill, our feature of the evening. Give this man a round, please. Whole square.
Greetings, neighbors. This one, I didn't know we had a theme tonight, passages, so this kind of fits in theme. This one is a poem I wrote called The Longest Road. The longest road we'll ever be shown is the one that leads us way back home. The further we go, the closer we get. No need to regret any missteps. Thank them all for getting us here. The laughter and tears are souvenirs. The trophies we take are the realizations we make. Habits may defy who we are deep inside, but once we reel them in, a new chapter begins. We don't need to know whether we will or we won't. We just need to know that we could. We could say no. We can draw the line. We can take a step forward and then take it back. Creation is the DJ. We are her dancers. We can't always be right. We can't always be wrong. But what really matters is where our rhythm belongs. To be fixed in truth and yet vibrate with life is the undertaking we can no longer deny. Our world is on the brink, just like when the water it breaks. Gestation in darkness gives sway to the light. We were born to be reborn. Our minds hold the key to the greatest adventure of all, the realization of true self, here, in form. Walls of self-deception cast shadow over the third eye, leaving us truly blind, as senses only see a sliver of what is happening. The ancient ones said it, scientists proved it. The majority of matters is beyond the bandwidth of perceptual atrophy. When me becomes we, then the fabric of reality reveals its integrity. Walls of self-deception, a vain attempt by ego-driven mind to secure oneself, leaves oneself vulnerable to insult of every kind.
When
Is it time to take charge of our lives? Our minds can be refined so they don't deny who's deep inside. They run the show 'cause we let them go. We can reel them in and begin before our world implodes. A little discipline and we can bear to walk on red hot coals. Release ourselves, throw down the mask and let love explode. Eventually we will handle anything we touch with our minds. But whether we are burned or blessed depends on state of mind. A wealth of truth waits on us all, the whispers from the heart to make us whole. Gather up all our strength, hunt down habits of blame. The wisdom we gain shows us the way across the map to the land we promised ourselves. And that, my friends, is the longest road.
All right.
All right, then Marcia, myself and, I'm there.
I know, I went to the bathroom.
All right, sorry, I thought you were, sorry.
You only have 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Gee, he's kidding. I'm Dan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to be here. I'm about falling apart. I'm so tired, I can't believe it.
Well, I'm here.
Amen, brother.
Huh?
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah, my iron lung is working again. All right.
So passages, let me find something here. I got some things here. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. I like that one. Can I do something rude?
Please.
Okay, where is that? Let me find it here. Hold on a second. I have it in here.
I like to do this one every once in a while because people walked out on it.
I might get into the sing-songy aspect of it. How many people ever remember the song "Drop Kick Me, Jesus, Through the Goalpost of Life"? Okay. this is done to that tune. The name of this song is "Cockmaster Jesus." Now I'll start reading, then maybe get into the song here. Cockmaster Jesus, he's the biggest of big. He's coming right for you, snorting just like a pig. He can fill all your needs, be ye woman or man. He'll pleasure you up. That's his royal plan. Take me, oh take me, with each royal thrust. Take me each night, like an elephant in must. Put it in above or stuff it up from below. I'm willing to be thrilling, just so you know. Cockmaster Jesus, I'm glad when we've come right up inside till I'm deaf and I'm dumb. Like a powerful piston, you're giving your all. My Cockmaster Jesus, he never will stall. He'll take brother and sister, but he will take more. He'll do up your dog right there on the floor. He'll do all the dear ones if you get him drunk on your wine. He's the #1 player of all space and time. Oh, Cockmaster Jesus, he never goes limp. He has the eternal stiffy, as big as a blimp. He can hump any mountain, if he so does please, coming and coming with no threat of disease. Take me, oh Jesus, every night of my life, any way you want, but do it upright. Straight into my leathers, ye loosen what's tight. Brung home me Jesus, it feels oh so right. Now, mattress back Palin, she says he's her thrill. As she bends over backwards, panting, drill, baby, drill. She says, Cockmaster Jesus, to deny him's a sin. So open up wide and let dear Jesus come in.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! See, and then there are people who didn't like that. I don't know why.
Where did you read that guy walked out on?
That was at Vera Coach. You think no one, they've heard everything there.
Vera Coach has got a tight ass.
I know, well. I'm so passages. That was kind of like passages. Something was passing there.
But, so this is a poem that has to do with passages. And the beeper went off because I forgot to turn it off, so I was like, I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. So this is, well, my brother passed away recently, last Saturday, and I'm going to go to the celebration or recognition of that fact on Friday. It's going to be an Irish wake, so they say there's going to be whiskey. And my brother said, I'll bring some. My other brother said, I'll bring some. And I said, wait a minute, I'm bringing some. And Sister Mary said, well, I'm going to bring some. Which is why they say it in Irish newspapers, whenever they do a social, the article, the social columns, they talk about, when it was, where it was, what was about, and then the next sentence is usually amongst the injured were. Anyway, so here we go. This is one of the things I'm thinking I might read if the wife is amenable to it. From the start of this universe until now, there has always been the light. Clearly, it is an essential factor, for what else do we all come to, both eventually and aright, but the light, light, light. No thing overshadows this. It's what moves this poor body, causes my fingers to trace such moments as this, counsels the passion coursing my heart well, and what so enlivens my giddy sight tonight, but the light, light, light. Terms cannot describe or contain this. Actions provide mere indications. Lyrics might bear it as long as the breath bears them. Nothing temporal can be truly seen without it, and all things eternal are made up only of it. What else moves us within to create without, passing for inspiration's sight, but the light, light, light. And so in the deep cold world of winter, where the sullen, lifeless, and leaden heavens overlook the hope of celestial bodies, occlude the hope of celestial bodies. When the landscape beneath is set in a monochromatic display, yes, fish still sees the day between their ice. Yes, furtive, burrowing survivors do abide, and the heart of an owl harbors its heated blood as it wings down silently after sighting its prey. Dark talons clutch the unwary or luckless, where blood spatters on moonlit white. What else rules there but the light, light, light? What muffles the tolling bell better than distance and time? What rings it ever clearer and brings it to mind? What is the message it means to send all these years later? What do I do by telling you this? Why do such words as these make their way here? What causes my heart and spirit to soar, then mine to quicken? What makes a singular difference, no matter how seemingly slight? But the light, light, light. When death is no longer that distant, dismissed threat, but present, promised, and immediately certain, yet intimate companion, if you will, waiting on you, so to speak, hand and foot. What will move still until that very last? What makes its essential difference felt? What else is there to keep in sight? The light, light, light. Okay, and we'll just close this one. It's all got to do with passages. Having themes is a new idea. I thought, have themes, but this is the first time, and I didn't really tell people about it very much, except on the Facebook page and then here tonight. So thank you for those people who accommodated that spontaneous insanity of mine. So this is called The Year That Was. That was the year that was. The mighty 2012. It was going to be over, done, finished, and through. Millions, billions saw the films, read books, clicked on websites, saw Hollywood's science magic, believed a Mayan myth, looked at a constellation, and counted down. I'll bet there were suicides, or worse. Yet, here we are. Again, alive and kicking, looking around, still wondering what happened when Nothing did. Seeing everything go on, same old to same old to same old. The calendar pages were turned, clocks struck. I wonder, though, about the next big one. What will it be? When will it come and go? Until then, I have another modest proposal. Say, why don't we look away from doomsday, now that it's done being done and all, and just look at what's left, the vast complex, the global mess, which now, miraculously, we have all the time in the world to address. Thank you.
All right. So Marcia Campbell, then Bill, and I thank you for thanking me by thanking you.
Whatever that meant.
Yeah, I'll get back to me on that. Thank you. Thank you. Give Marcia a round of
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
I'm going to read from my book, which was published by Goddesses We Ain't Press. And the title is Reply of Our Lady Teresa to the poet Crashaw on the occasion of his having written a hymn for her sake a few years after her death. And I'm talking about Lady Teresa of Avila, the one who went around Spain establishing nunneries. And when she was a very young, blossoming woman, she had an inspiration during the night where she felt the spirit of Jesus throughout her body. And it was kind of a miracle. She felt very special because of it. And that's when she went out to travel barefoot through the villages of Spain, establishing homes for women, for nunneries. So this is the illustration. It's done by Janet Lagarde. And this is a quote from Crashaw, who lived a little while after, 100 or so years after she died. Lo, where a wounded heart with bleeding eyes conspire, is she a flaming fountain or a weeping fire? That's by him. I didn't write that.
All right, we appreciate it.
Introductory note by Mark Linenthal. In Crashaw's hymn for St. Teresa, the rigor of metaphor has dissolved. This world flows easily into the next, and spiritual ecstasy is realized in undeniably sexual terms. Marcia Campbell has accepted this surreal impetus and developed implications in language which is wonderfully attuned to reply. The book is dreamlike, a visionary revision of Teresa's longing for Christian martyrdom. Blah, blah, blah. If you are singing, with eyes shot through, your cudgel tongue wept bitterly and carved a mouth. Our Father was that far away from our heaven, a small airplane over Cottonwoods, Texas. Our mother, a dirty river, unable to flow. Shattered with a tinsel bright fluorescence, the mustard seed which stroked the shadow as it flowed on rosy-fingered wings. The river bottom rose with the sound of woodfall at dusk, and great stones were shifted lightly in the river bottom gold strands, forming a passageway. A wonderful ice cream suitor, snow-fed spring, everywhere always floating, the wonderful green strands of tangle. Teresa watched these things. She waited for a man with holy water. Each new stretch of road showed a closer cloud, a lonely cumulus. Each new melting patch of road reflected hotter than a fiery room. The wind stays blind among the cottonwoods. Lilith, her name written in red, knelt to drink along the track. Teresa watched these things. I watched these things. The faces of the clouds, there was nothing in them, and they passed overhead in all largeness, and the road went on by, a song floating off stage into darkness. There was a succession of mornings, all alike white as the inner shell of a cloud. Fountains of blood wept Crashaw over Teresa, a garden bursting with red tears, blister overcome with bliss. Teresa toddler, a blur along the road to Marrakesh. The edges of the palms looked on with bitter scent. The crusader would find a song. The melody would pass out into the air gracefully, into the hot heat of the silent wind. Wild, silent wind. I was listening, singing. Oh, should I have more time?
Yes, we can another 2 minutes.
The fairest and the sacred sons of fire. Snow below the snow line. Sun coming from a green boomerang heat to illuminate the heat, the lower corner of shadow. By the time you see it, an ice flow of shadow has settled 1,000 degrees north, and growing, crawling with fauna from the air, Earth's love. In the middle, colonies of trees, of birds standing in water, a well of deep stars, palms of flesh sway in shadow beneath the sky, shadow and light, shadow and light. Teresa loved the children of her nation's tribe, made golden by the upward curving horizon. Earth's dark-browed children drew her, too, like nests of fledgling mammals, waiting to be sorted out and clutched to her tiny breast. The milk famine crushed forever. In each she saw a fragile plowman, grown more virtuous with the miles, and she smiled with raiment soaked in sparkling tears. Beside the road, the stream flowed with clarity, the clarity in abundance. The light is changed. While the last highway of the central plain was a basin of sand and weeds, now the red woods loomed pink in the cool, distant morning, creating shafts of light between them and flowery sky. The saint would save them, but no one yet thinks of them as endangered. This is the coast of Spain, of Texas, and already a clear Mediterranean hush drenches the hills with calm solitude. The hands of the martyrs grow healed like stone. The places where the nails went in are known only to the father of the thousands of the young crusaders. Now the hymn, in falsetto tones, the voices true, rise up to tune the tallest branch. That's as far as I'm going. Thank you so much.
And I apologize for that, what went this went off. It's like I usually watch it so it doesn't go off. You know, but you're near the end, I hit it before it goes off. But I was listening, so I like what I was
Shame on you.
Yeah. All right. So.
I'm gonna be angry.
Good. Good. Anger is a good thing. Bill is going to be our feature for the evening. He's going to give us something unusual, he said. So be prepared for that. After the feature, we take a 10-minute break, and then we have Step, Garrett Murphy, Greg Pond, and our mini feature leading Marissa Thompson. Who's right? Where's Marissa? She was right back there a second. There she is, limping into view, still bravely braving, coming here despite injury and disablement. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm bringing something unusual. I'm bringing an poetry reading. I mean, as poets, we concentrate language, we reach for truth, we reach for beauty, we reach for transcendence. And so I was wondering what the rest of the people do with language. So I sent out a crack team of investigators to investigate the matter. And this is what they came up with. I've got, if we have time, 19 of them. Talk, number one. Talk, talk. Talk, talk, talk. Walk the walk. Talking, talking, walking, walking. Talk, talk, talk. Number two. Yada, yada, gotta, gotta, yada, gotta, yada, yada, nada, nada, yada, nada, yada, gotta, gotta, yada, nada. Three. Praise and flatter, flatter and praise. Raise the ladder, flatter the praise, ladder the days, praise, flatter, flatter. What does it matter? Praise, praise, praise and flatter. Raise the matter, flatter the days, scatter the praise, raise the flatter, praise, praise, flatter. Four. Prattle, 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 tattle, 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 shake and rattle, prattle, prattle, tattle, tattle, prattle. Five. Mutter, 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 a lot of clutter, mutter, mutter, got no rudder, mutter, mutter, clutter, clutter, no rudder, no rudder, mutter, mutter, mutter. Six. Fight, quarrel, quarrel and fight. No wrong, no right. Quarrel, quarrel, quarrel. Remove your laurel. Fight, fight, fight with all your might. Quarrel and fight. Right makes might. Quarrel and fight. Might makes right. Quarrel and quarrel and quarrel and fight. Number seven. Whisper, whisper. Sister, mister. Whisper, sister. Whisper, mister. Whisper, whisper, whisper. 8. Tell, tell, tell. Sell, sell, sell. Tell, sell, sell, tell, sell. Tell, tell, sell. Telling, selling, telling, selling, telling, selling. Sold. Told. Told. Sold, 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 told, sold, told, told. Sold. Number 9. Hawk howl, midnight howl, shriek of owl, howl, 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 up from the bowel, howl, howl, bloody cowl, shriek of owl, howl, 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 howl. 10. Chatter, 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 doesn't matter, doesn't matter, chatter, 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 chatter. 11. Rant and rave and rant. Rave and rant, preach and save, rant and rave and save and rave, save, rant, can't. 12. Babble, 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 stir the rabble, babble, 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 babble. This is what my expert crew of investigators brought to me. I'm just reading it. Talk number 13. Recite, chant, pray, light can't stay. Pray, pray, break of day, chant, 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 can't, recite the light, recite the night, chant, pray, recite, can't stay the night, chant, pray, recite, can't sway the light, recite, recite, light, sight, chant and pray, can't stay, pray. Ring the bell, yell, yell, yell. Raise some hell, yell, yell, yell. Hell, 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 raise some hell, yell, yell. Ring the bell, yell. 15. Yammer, 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 yammer. In the slammer, yammer, yammer. Drop the hammer, yammer, hammer, slammer. Yammer, yammer, yammer. 16. Beg and plead, liars lead, plead and beg, broken leg, plead, 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 cannot read, leg, beg, leg, lead to read, beg, plead, plead, leg, beg, beg, beg. 17. Moan and groan, leave me alone, groan and moan, can't go home. Moan and groan, need a loan. Groan and moan, moan and groan. We're getting there. Don't worry. Say, hey, hey, say, beautiful day, say, come my way. Said, to my bed, said, am not dead. Say, said. Last one. Command and order, order and command, demand, demand. Order, broken border. Command, demand the land, command the order. Command the border, broken land, order and command, blowing sand, empty hand, command, demand, command. Thank you.
An annual survey of how language is used by the common individuals, not the poets, and we thank you for that excellent survey. We're going to take a 10-minute break, so schmooze as you please, or please as you schmooze. We'll come back. We have Steph, then Garrett, then Greg, and then Marissa. So
Marissa, I'm looking forward to hearing you.
Yes, I look forward to hearing her. I look forward to hearing everybody, except people have already been spoken for. So come back. We'll see you in just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Start your engine.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you, man. See you. Good to see you. All right. We're practicing.
Yeah, good job.
All right. Take care. All right, come back.
I have to try to hit you up for 7 minutes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yoga's my inspiration.
Oh boy, I'm going to get some exception.
Check out Yoga, the Science of the Soul, Osho.
Well, actually, in that poster that's glowing there, I saw one go that way. Yes, Tom. Mutter in the gutter, mutter. Flutter, gutter.
I covered all the bases.
I can't think of anything else, but you know, I think I have a copy of that. Should look back and see if I can think of it, and I can do a spoof on it. It's hard to do a spoof on spoof. I know. Because it gets really diffuse after that. People don't know that anything else is going on behind it, so whenever you do it deeper.
All of your words years I used to run appropriate.
It just shows that you get, you know. Like a bomb shell.
It's just now.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
Oh, no.
It's like certain words to apply to military.
Something in the air.
It's not much.
When we come back, there's gonna be a
Few other people have been here.
We'll probably be finished playing band.
Oh, yeah. Poor Jane Master, she got killed. Or sports car.
Who's reading that?
No, you're talking about Isidore Duncan.
Steph?
No, she got
Strangled.
strangled.
Still here.
But Nashville lost her head.
STEP, stairs, step. It's the
Wow.
guy that was around here, and he still.
She was like in a convertible or something, and
Yeah, something like that. It was like a little, it was like a little sports car. She went up under a big semi. That's pretty grizzly.
I'm gonna fly on home and fall asleep as soon as I possibly can. I always say that, and then so many times I've done it. But I am wearing thin.
not too many. Again, I can't think of one that is.
Come tomorrow night, too.
Come talk Thursday, that's Olympic music, but you can come back here too, it's fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, because people like it, singer-songwriter, it's great.
Cool.
All right?
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you
That's
so
great.
much. Oh, yeah.
San Francisco.
Oh, you should, 311. Oh, okay.
Muni.
Get myself
Hello. How are you?
I thought you were. So, if you dial 311, that's a unique. Yeah, I know. I'm just letting you know in the future. Right this summer. I didn't know you had. I didn't know.
There was a guy at the hospital that had some like, immediately.
Yeah, he probably went to a website. Maybe. 67.
Josh.
Well, he was went to Vietnam. He was Agent Orange. He yielded a condition called amyloidosis, which is kind of like a protein buildup on various. It builds up everywhere.
So he was ill for a long time.
Yeah, so you get something that looks like, a stomach problem, or a liver problem, or this or that, and it's all the same thing. And then, it'll start someplace, and then stop, and go someplace else, and then it starts in 2 places, then one goes and starts 2 more, so it's just like, at the end, he was having, dialysis every day, was looking for some kind of liver procedure, his intestines got infected, so they had to reduce the size of the nose. Before that, there were several operations. Before that, there was
I love that song.
Literally my favorite. They just started piling them on. So I was there actually when he actually ceased.
Yeah.
Physical operations, but he was calm.
It's like it just has so much passion. And still it has gifts for excuse. I love this song.
This last Saturday morning, when his wife.
Yeah, you can really picture them down by the railroad tracks.
Yeah, it's right when he's doing this.
Yeah, good picture. Good visual.
But And she called me Saturday and said, "Would you have a work operation?" And talked to me, this type of thing.
Katniss Renee is another really good one.
Because they had decided that
Father,
it
yeah.
wasn't going to be able to.
Oh, yeah, well, I
Too many things
seen
wrong.
that. Well, I saw it.
And even if you don't survive this particular
Self-surgery,
surgery,
they
there's
thought
still the liver and the legs.
He did that, and he did. But I also felt like I was able to come out. And I haven't got that. And I decided to take it on to see if he had a natural.
His great father and that you call
So we drove all the way there.
musical instrument, whatever you call it, and telephone is
Last
that.
ones, I've never seen that.
You have to count Howard as a great poem, although it's a pretty flawed
It was just
poem.
like, what's that? I didn't.
Autobahn, right.
I would have never thought that he would have been the first.
I think it's Howard is really two different poems squished together.
There's
Well, there's two poems. There's the poem of the greatest lines of my generation, the theme of one poem, and the other poem is the gay math house crew. And those are separate poems. I'm not putting down either one of them, but they don't really squish together that way.
Well, I mean, it's just like, he was trying to revolutionize the gay movement. Plus, talk about, all of these different problems in the society.
Right.
African Americans,
some weird, rare.
Yeah, it was the best lines of my generation. It was
I
great.
saw him and he was fine.
about that,
Here.
it's starving experiment. Whether that's a great, just again.
What a, and he was back and forth with that. Then he went off on all these other tangents. And he got kind of marked. But you still have to call it a great poem. Because it was it was a revolutionary poem.
I really enjoyed your work.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And I'd like to tell you about that big local story, but the comet has done the digging, and now the Bear Demon Rebus Canipas will do the jumping tomorrow, weather and authorities permitting. That's a quote there. I don't think Steph is here. I don't see him out there. So that means we're going to go with Garrett, and then Greg, and then Larissa. Our video of the evening, who's also the closer, the clincher, the closer, the bulldozer. So Garrett, give him a nice round, please.
Garrett, have a little longer time, like 6 minutes-ish or something like that. You can go for 6 or 7. All right. Okay, I just want to let you know you could. I didn't know that, but.
In prison outside a cell. Let's talk about a special kind of prison, one that's so insidious most inmates don't know that they're in it, or know that they are their own correction officers. One's eyes and ears are more oblivious of their sentence than they would be to their own surroundings. The local color of the inmates and the language is as right as one might expect from a more obvious can. This is a jail that will never be on lockup, nor will it ever confuse orange with black. It is tighter than most maximum securities, and yet can be broken free from with the mildest of ease. So come on, all you inmates, ease your way back to the outside world and get off that there cell phone. The secret prerequisite for passing the Law Enforcement Academy. Congratulations to all you recruits. With the passage of our secret requirement, you have officially fulfilled all the tests for being able to call yourselves officers of the law. Let the outside world believe that we mean by the special elite, that we mean toughening one's mind and body via basic training, or being proficient at hand-to-hand combat, or being the crackest shot imaginable. It is really none of those things, nor is it familiarity with police jargon or military jargon, or how well you can handle out numerous types of armament, or even knowing your badge or serial number. The most uncanny and savvy among you manage to figure it out. It happens to be how well you can tell a tall tale, one that moves our allies in courts and politics to believe you when you can tell how the target reached for your gun, or tried to assault you, or tried to threaten you and others, and you can now tell a most compelling story using a specially bred imagination. That, rookies, is what really makes a good law enforcer. You have passed with flying colors, and I am very proud of all of you. But just keep this in mind, officers. Real colors do not fly as gloriously as the ones you just passed with.
Thank you. Now again, Steph hasn't stepped back in, so we'll go to Greg, and then either Steph will come back, or we'll go to Marissa, our mini feature for the evening, the clincher closer, super bulldozer. She should say things like that. She's a gentle and kind individual, I know it. Oh, you got 7. Because we're doing a little longer than we can. All right.
I don't know if these are necessarily in the theme, but I guess they can be life passages in some way.
Oh yeah, there's passages.
Yeah, this one is entitled More Than a Crush. In this mood, you keep coming through my heart every time you smile, while my bed, feeling no longer lonely, gets used to the scent of you. In and out of our many moods, you keep finding your way into my bed, where we can always follow through on things we've already said. After a while, we speak, but you keep fading, so I let you sleep and snore deep into slumber. Then I creep under covers and snuggle up next to you, knowing that whatever you feel for me, baby, I'm feeling for you too. And here's another passage. Now, this is not one of mine, but I read this recently, and I heard it's been used for many weddings. It's entitled "The Wedding Pledge," and I've never been married. Well, I do have a long-term relationship, but I guess just thinking about the marriage, the connection of people, and what it means to partner with somebody that you find somebody that you really care about, and to partner with them. And this is written by a gentleman named Frederick Douglass Harper. And it's entitled Wedding Pledge. In this, my left hand, I take you as my wife, husband, and hold sacred your life and welfare as long as we choose and hold each other. With my right hand, I promise to work for you, with you, and for life that we may create as one. In both hands, I cup and nourish the trust we place in each other as persons and in ourselves as a partnership in life. With this heart, I set my allegiance to a sensitivity for your feelings and pledge to put no other person's needs or wants before your own. With will and determination, I shall do my best to remain patient with your weaknesses, as well as your personal changes over the years. I will hold in confidence that you will do likewise with me. With this, my head, I will think of you whenever I am and whenever I can as thoughts of concern for you and shared experiences with you. I pledge at this moment to do all I can to help minimize your pains and maximize your happiness, to forgive you for inadvertent errors of human frailty, to respect you as a person, as my wife, husband, to be open with you about my thoughts and feelings, to touch you each morning and kiss you each night, to trust in your words and actions, to be kind, courteous, and considerate to you, to respect your right to freedom, solitude, and individuality, to commit myself totally to you and our relationship. Furthermore, I will try my best not to hurt you in any way or discredit you before peers or yourself. I will encourage your personal growth and internal peace. I will allow no person to conspire to alienate my love for you. Neither will I allow myself to be blinded by false feelings for another or life's many luring excitements. I will talk with you, walk with you, and persevere with you through tests of time and condition. I will pray with you, hope with you, struggle with you, and suffer with you in your hardships. Most of all, I will love you without condition for as long as I can and as long as you want me to, hoping and trusting it will be forever. And another passage, if you will. This one is entitled Family Tree. And there's some truth to it because I'm going to be going home to visit my family at the end of this week. So, Family Tree. Ranging from little to middle, through tears and years and fears, then back again. Wonder how they'll handle my return trip home, having been gone so far away and for so long. Wonder if they'll still save a place for me on the sturdiest bough of our family tree, with roots that stretch too deep to delete, and a trunk too strong, too thick to be ignored. Memories captioned and cataloged, glued for eternity's view. A green photo album, one sheet at a time perused, on this slow Sunday afternoon, leaping back through earlier times, clear plastic covered, young pictures of siblings, cousins, uncles, and mother. I tried to disconnect dots, possibly estranged, despite occasional calls, Christmas cards, or how we may have changed. Thick or thin, slow or shaky, bald or gray. These middle pages find me trying to reject the character in the mirror who has taken center stage, who has taken the lines that I might say and drawn them on my face. Wonder if I'll look old to them, or if they will look the same, as we don our evolving masks, measured more by experience than by wrinkles or calendar age. I wonder how the family will handle my coming back home again.
All right, we have Benjamin, then Wendy, then Marissa, so Ben, come on up. All right. Wendy, and then Marissa, and that's, he's the clincher closer bulldozer. I'll take care of these fabulous prizes. Just so you know, we have a high ratio of prizes for people present. So odds are your name will be called. And we have two special ones. The keynote opening, that means you come back next week and you sort of kick the meeting off with a renowned poem by a well-known author or someone you really appreciate. That does not prevent you from being in the open mic, and then the mini feature for next week, of course, as we all say, wahoo.
Real quick before my time starts, it's always great to be back here at Sacred Grounds. See a lot of familiar faces.
Yes.
A little light tonight, but it's nice when you go through time and then you come back and you know you feel kind of at home a little bit. It's one of my first poetry readings here. All right. So I got the zine I'm passing around. These are some new ones that I did since the zine. We had a little launch, 60 people, 3 bands, 12 artists in the Lost one. And I'll I'll start out with one that's like a little intense. Sorry, I wasn't expecting going this fast. Alright, this is called Church. Welcome speech. Announcements. Song you've never heard. Greet your neighbor. Baby dedication. Scripture reading. And finally, the pastor's message. Church is boring. That's why no one likes going. Reflect on the message. Prayer after the message. Please repent of your sins. Song. Announcements again. Prayer. Song. Bye-bye. Church is boring. That's why no one likes going. Are you distracted in life by Facebook? Are you afraid of the wilderness? What? I'm distracted by Facebook. How is that relevant to Pentecost Sunday? Why'd you spend half the time talking about the movie Into the Wild? Why didn't you cite scripture outside the text being covered? No, same rhetoric. Why aren't we succeeding? What's the bad habit? We need more faith. Just trust God. Life is tough. Life is tough. Should we change anything positive? Church is boring. That's why no one likes going. Big Dolly fan. Big Dolly fan. So this is The Persistence of Memory. Holding you on prom night with love in our outfits, speech, and dinner restaurant choice. Everything is choice. On the beach with the sun glistening off the clear water of the Caribbean Sea, glorious beauty, bright, clean sand, intoxicating. Your sense of relaxation, this is the occasion. Life is worth venturing for, to escape the wild animal that chases you on safari in the wilderness of Africa, guided by experts with backgrounds photographing for National Geographic. They were prepared for anything that love could bring. Our hearts intertwined infinitely together until you lost hope for a good world and your heart disappeared with your body to find yourself in India. I'm walking in the park, wondering how these paths were created with such beautiful red, green, yellow, and purple flowers popping up everywhere. It's fantastical, of Willy Wonka sorts, yet so real and natural. Like flying home to see my mom on Mother's Day and giving her flowers I picked at a local park and arranged by color in the shape of a heart. Because when I was 4, she gave me a toy car that changed colors in water and had me wear yellow Chuck Taylors with multicolored shirts. Walking around in a paisley-covered deep blue wool sweater, so soft and hipster in the SF wind, and flashy chill enough that this beautiful lady and a homeless person just said, they love this sweater. Oh, to dream of a life where I could live as me and make a memory that time would make temporary.
Yes, you can. We're stretching the time tonight. That's what you, otherwise you wouldn't have it. Yeah, you're set to go.
So I'm working on a novel, and this is just a little section out of it. I guess it's a little bit about like the style I'm going to write it in. I got an outline and everything, characters, so it's going to happen. Before we left town, I drove aimlessly, waiting on her to give me directions, until I realized I needed oil, coolant, and gas. I immediately located a gas station with a high-powered handheld communications device that had a program called Gas Buddy that told me where the closest location for fuel would be. I made a U-turn and drove across the field so I could go straight there. The Escalade is luxury, but fundamentally, it's an SUV, so I have no problem maximizing those capabilities. We drove in from the back of the gas station down a steep hill after jumping a curve and landed right at pump number 4. It was glorious. The most fantastic gas station I've ever experienced. Off to the right was a man-made waterfall down incredibly round rocks. The roundest I've ever observed, if my memory serves me correctly. But to the left of us was a magnificent achievement of humankind. A 2-story triple glass section museum of a gas station. I was almost afraid to walk in because I figured I'd have to buy an admission ticket for a gallery tour. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
All right, Miss Wendy Walters. Give her a nice round. Then we have Melissa on the closure. We'll take care of the prizes. And I'm sure Mrs. Calabash will thank us wherever she is. That's right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I should have done that. You got it?
You have lots as well.
I appreciate that. Your appreciation.
My appreciation of your appreciation.
Yes. We can go around and around like that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just want to start with a little tiny, it was almost like a haiku, but really not. But I saw this cat carrying a mouse and had all these different feelings. But here it came. Proud little cat with your recent clever catch. I'm glad for you, but sad for the one who was not your match. The cat looked so proud. It's master, it's master. Okay. Soul stirrings. The pain of the heart cries out for the mirror of its longing. Wait. Stop. Before the rush to judgment. Imagine the innocence of your original nature. Bus experience. The remarkable woman. It seemed an ordinary day on the bus with fellow passengers. The lucky ones sat relieved to be so fortunate to sit on their benches, as the rest stood in the aisle performing unpredictable balancing acts, while the bus abruptly moved forward in its rough way. Out bellowed the commanding voice of the one directing the scene from his driving station, beseeching those in their precarious positions to push themselves as far back as they possibly could so that more could join the throng. Not long after I had managed to obtain one of the few seats left, a middle-aged man and his female companion appeared before me. The woman herself was fortunate enough to be given a seat and nodded appreciatively to her benefactor. She sat down next to me and began to speak with the man with whom she had arrived in a language I did not understand. For a while I watched and listened as back and forth they conversed, enjoying the song-like melody of the communing between them. Slowly but surely, my attention became irresistibly drawn wholly to the woman. I could not easily take my eyes away from her remarkably lovely visage and mannerisms. She had the appearance of a saintly person, charitable, unselfish, and patient. Her face was simple and natural, showing sentiments that pulled my gaze away from the suffering mass nearby, so that I found myself experiencing keen pleasure and fulfillment just being nearby. The woman's attention remained fixed on her companion, and so she did not notice that several of us in her proximity shared an equal interest in her presence. Two youths chattered excitedly until one of them noticed the woman and discreetly motioned to her friend. They glanced at each other with a smile. Here and there, someone would cast their attention in the direction of this woman, who captivated each secret admirer with her uncommonly harmonious nature. For whatever reason, in the midst of this ordinary day, on a bus jammed with people and situations manifesting every walk of life, those individuals nearby with whom I shared rapt fascination of one particular woman temporarily in our lives, saw and felt the tremendous beauty and power of someone very special on what might have been an ordinary, unremarkable bus ride.
Where are you reading next?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Thank you. So next Saturday, I'm going to be one of 2 featured poets at La Promenade Cafe.
Not next Saturday. Saturday after next.
Saturday
week.
September 6th, sorry.
All right.
Sorry about that. September 6th, and it's on Balboa Street in the outer avenues near 38th Avenue.
And as a matter of fact, we have little flyer reminders for those of you who want one. They're here, and I will give them to her, and she will hand them to you.
And it's a very comfortable space. There's a front area that's like a little comfy home-like lounge area with chairs and couches, and then there's the back area with the chairs and tables where you can eat, and then they have a cafe. It's very nice. So it starts around 7.
Is that right at
7 o'clock.
Yeah. 7 to 9:30, September
You can
6th.
come, that's great.
They have a parklet, right?
Huh?
The parklet right up front?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, there's a park, that's about 2 blocks away.
Gotcha.
Okay, all right. So here, why don't you take those? And someone wants them up. Thank you, Wendy Walters again with you. And now, our mini feature of the evening, a woman who needs no introduction, but I'll introduce Marissa anyway. That's not her last name. Her name is Marissa Thompson. And a poet of note.
Anyway, that's her last name?
Thompson.
Not anyway.
No, not anyway.
Okay.
Everyway. She could be anyway, but she's not one of the New Jersey anyways.
All right.
Anyway, so come on up, give her a nice round of applause, and then oh, sorry. It's an old joke. I use it. I built that mercilessly. Anyway, we're very glad to have you, and I'm glad that you chose to do this instead of taking one of our ordinary prizes last week. So.
I'm glad to do it.
And then, where's Mark?
I
You're going to be following this individual, just so you know.
Okay.
I didn't have a chance to tell you that.
So I don't know, I was trying to think things that I hadn't read before, and so this is kind of collections of poems to people or in people's voices, or one of them is actually a creature's voice, but we'll just kind of run with it. But this one I want, this is why I haven't written about this yet, because a poet named Dennis Smith, since we're all bringing in poems of other people, this evening. Dennis Smith wrote Not an Elegy for Mike Brown, and I read that poem and I'm like, okay, I don't have anything else to say. I don't know yet, maybe I will eventually, but this is an excellent poem. It's been making the rounds, I wanted to bring it here.
Good job.
Not an Elegy for Mike Brown. I am sick of writing this poem, but bring the boy. His new name, his same old body. Ordinary, black, dead thing. Bring him and we will mourn until we forget what we are mourning. And isn't that what being black is about? Not the joy of it, but the feeling you get when you are looking at your child, turn your head, then poof, no more child. That feeling, that's black. Think, once a white girl was kidnapped, and that's the Trojan War. Later, up the block, Troy got shot, and that was Tuesday. Are we not worthy of a city of ash, of 1,000 ships launched because we are missed? Always, something deserves to be burned. It's never the right thing nowadays. I demand a war to bring the dead boy back, no matter what his name is this time. I at least demand a song. A song will do just fine. Look what the Lord has made above Missouri, sweet smoke. But we, Harold and I were just other events, just in terms of things in the news and things that are happening to people that are making the news, at least. And so Harold and I were just at a Floricanto in support of the children detained at the border, so I wrote this poem for that occasion. Dear Mr. President, this is a photo of me. I'm holding a brown and white cat so that his back legs dangle and his skin wrinkles around his shoulders. But he doesn't seem to mind. He lets me hold him this way. I am 8 years old. A newspaper man took this photo when I had been at the stopping house for 2 days in Chiapas. The people there were very kind. They gave me hugs and messed up my hair the way my uncles and cousins do. That was 2 weeks before I arrived in your country. I am not in the newspapers here. The adults here look like police, except they stay here all the time and they yell at us. I count the number of boys in this cell. I don't know how many we are when we are standing up, but it is more crowded when we are lying down. We are waiting for our families to come. I hope my aunt comes soon. Sometimes if we see the guards relax a little, we tell jokes and rhymes and laugh, and even if they don't understand us, and we see the stones in their faces soften out of the corners of our eyes, then some of them yell a little less. Some of them speak in Spanish the way a bird walks around with one wing broken. I think it would be better if we understood each other. If you let us go to our families, we will be good. We will go to school and learn how to tell stories that make people happy, like cats that let you hold them, and trees and other growing things, so that people smile instead of holding their faces still like walls. All right. How much time do I have?
Oh, you have another like 5.
Another 5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna read this weird one. I'm trying to decide if I like it or not. Oh, wait, it'll be weird.
My favorite.
A weird one. Okay. Let's see. Let me call it up. So this is one. Come on now.
It's getting weird.
I know, it's getting good. I'll just do some Dada poetry in the meantime.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. So yes, this one is it's good. This is a weird one. This one's called Chimera Gets a Wave Nouveau. In case you don't know the vocabulary of the title, a chimera is obviously a mythical beast. It's like, I think it's part lion, part goat, eagle, and it has a snake tail. Yeah. It's a crazy looking thing. And a wave nouveau was a thing that you could get in the 80s done to your hair. So Chimera gets a wave nouveau. Huh. In Carthage, everyone said that I had that good hair. But my mother was from a small, isolated town, and in her eyes something was still beastly about it. A lot of fallout from the Medusa affair. The Gorgon was still a legend in people's minds, so I really can't blame my mother much. She called the tangles on the back of my neck rats. Of course, Normal is just a child out of Eden. I couldn't see the fig leaves she wore on her hands. And the descendants of the Argonauts had spread out by now, starting businesses, making promises. The Golden Fleece had been used for hair extensions in the capital, and knockoffs were everywhere. But a mane like mine, no one around me had the map, the geography. Always a duality to it, too thin to braid, too curly to be civilized. My father separated it into 2 puffballs when I was younger, but they wet and mossed my cheeks whenever I drank from a water fountain. And as I got older, there was more of it. My mother had nothing to teach, and my father had run out of styles. He was still wearing his afro from when he was living in Alexandria in the 70s. Both of them were tired of me complaining that I couldn't handle all this hair myself. There was rumors of a new potion in town that could soothe all of your hair troubles, and my mother found a shop claiming they sold it and knew how to use it. The shop turned out to be run by an Argonaut, like all of them claiming they'd been around the world, seen it all, full of the sale. He said that the potion was so miraculous it would change my hair. It wouldn't change my hair really at all, but make the curls uniform, every hair going the same way, like a troop of Spartans, but still a little bit of that, barbarian sexy. And more than anything, it was similar to how all the other girls were styling at school. I had 3 heads, but maybe, just maybe, I could fit in. But as he started combing and working in the potion, I could tell he didn't know what he was looking at. Nobody ever did. You have two different kinds of hair, one texture on one side, one on the other, he said, manufacturing wonder to conceal his alarm. Like I didn't know this, as if I hadn't grown up with both a goat's beard and a lion's mane all my life. I'm going to have to adjust the set times, he said quickly, sensing my irritation. I was in the apothecary's shop for 4 hours, and when he was finished, my hair was a cloudy mess. Instead of the squirrels I loved, but would only visit when my hair was wet, it had this hazy sheen and made less sense than a loofah sponge. The curves burned straight, and the straighter parts burned curvy. I didn't want it, but there was no turning back. My mother was embarrassed, but she paid the Argonaut anyway. What I needed was a map, something to tell me where each curl was from, like a road that widened where it bent so you could see around the corner. Geometry before chemistry, a theorem, but I wouldn't learn about this until I visited Carthage on my own. The world is wide. The Argonauts don't know everything. And then I guess I'll finish with, oh, where did it go? Hello. More Dada poetry. And then I'll just finish with this poem. Passages, this goes with the passage thing. I've meant to organize a lot around passages, but this one is a passage one. This is was a poem that I wrote for my mentor who passed away. I want to say it's been a year and a half now, I guess. And it's called Rectangles, for Robert Christman. Was just a rectangular patch of blue above downtown San Francisco. At least the window was there, although hospitals are definitely not home. No one here knows your mind, how you were reading Hemingway lately, made a tacit peace with the old racist genius, made me raid the sitting room shelves for $5.99 mysteries. These facts amuse you, and you point out your favorite aide, the one who calls you Mr. Christman in her jolliest voice. Flirt with her while she brings you the dinner plate. I'm going to make a break for it, your whisper conspires. And in our minds, we are once again runaways, in hospital rags, fleeing the pea soup, officious nurses, margarine-colored walls. Though in time, even the room of your own becomes too much. I'm in a jam, you say over the phone. I can't leave the house. So I rush over, bound through a string of rectangles, the stairs, the doorway, the entranceway to the bedside where nothing is wrong except we can't yet go for a drive. The home nurse hasn't cleared it yet. And although your thoughts are slower now, they still stride even against the tyranny of your own body. You muster them to your command. Open the door, you say. And with your arms resting on mine and the home care aides, you step out into this patch of sky blue, bordered by the steps, Susan's house next door, and the view of the neighbors across the street. Blue lighter than the azure undulating on the horizon on sunny days calling from your office window. You step out, you stand silent, you breathe. No books are happening here. Only the blue above your head, as if weariness could rise on air, lifted by the soft breeze, weaving rivers through your skin. Wonderful, you say, and it is. Thanks very much.
Mark, and then you're after Mark. Because I didn't know where you went, so I rearranged it. Mark O'Harps, come on up here. Give us a break.
Yes, thank you. Cool Bison B&B Park.
Huh?
They say everything can be replaced, yet every distance is not near. So I remember every face of everyone who put me here. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Woo! Somewhere next to me in this lonely crowd is a woman who swears she's not to blame. All day long I hear her cry so loud, calling out she was framed. I see her light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, she shall be released. This is a different key.
Yeah.
There's a woman on my block. She just sits there, cold, chill, crying. Who's gonna take away his license to kill?
Yeah! Yeah, because stepped out, I don't know where he is again.
You gonna see?
Yeah, if you can see.
He's right there.
Yeah. And then we'll do our eyes and hands and things like that.
We've been working along on this chain gang, busting rocks and serving our time. We've been working strong on this chain gang. The punishment does not fit the crime. We've been working along on this chain gang, busting rocks and serving our time. We've been working, we've still got such a long way to climb. Prison guards who are paid to protect us are the ones we're most afraid of. Prison guards who are paid to protect us are the ones we're most afraid of. We've been working long on this chain gang, busting rocks, serving our time. We'll be working, we still got such a long way to climb.
On your hands! And our closer, because he's got changed around, Mr. Stepp, and then we'll see what traffic there is.
natural thing.
I am Steph. I'm not myself lately.
I'm not yourself either.
I lost my ID and I had an identity crisis my whole damn life. The guy I called father is my stepfather. And my middle name is Bayard. Brownish, B-A-Y-A-R-D. Brownish red, usually a color refers to a horse color. So, Stephen Bayard Chambers would mean brownish red compartment. Because our name is on virtue, but I won't take no more. This is our way. I'm sure there's no need to complicate our time. It's short. This is our way. I'm yours. I spend way too much time checking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards to try to clear it till my breath falls out the glass. Doing the face. I wrote this when I heard it on the radio. I'll go do an instrumental. I have something prepared, and it's like, I get no respect. Last night my kids told me to go to my, last night my kids told me to go to my room. Today I muttered on the way, okay. Here, at the corner of Haight and Ashbury, a crowd gathered, and all of a sudden there was, I stop in and I get a taste of ice cream at a chain, ice cream place where a friend of mine works. And, chain ice cream place. You know, when I first got to the corner of Haight Ashbury, there was a gap there. But I'm glad I heard the tales that they tore down in the spot that used to be the hole on Haight. They tore down the first attempt at building a Walmart, and that's where the Goodwill is, where I died, turned blue. Thank God for heroin addicts, because one of them saw me and flagged down the car, died 911. I'm getting off top. Oh, that's what the poem I was going to tell you is an improvised poem about how I'm on my bucket list, but how come I'm not writing a damn autobiography? You guys are so good at putting pen to paper. I have a lot of respect for that. At one point, after hosting open mics and going to a lot of poetry nights and open mics, I kind of gave up writing down my poems. I'm like, I'm going to write down songs now. Every once in a while, I want to learn the flow songs. Anyhow. So, I should say, here it goes. Here's a song about tonight. Confusion will be our epitaph. I stole that line. And what about that? You gotta begin to the story. It's gonna have to get glorious. The fate of the Lord. The Lord is It takes how many calories to eat a gallon of food, little orange juice, or apricots in the morning. I can't stand this world, what should I have to rob it in? I have this political guru called Mike Rupert, who committed suicide, and then Ron Williams, so I'm trying to get funds together to do a suicide hotline, and I can't even keep my phone on because I keep spending my AT&T money on ganja because the government has assigned me to find the best kind of herb to cure the problem of ADHD. Does that make sense?
Totally. I'm on the same assignment.
A stipend. All right, in conclusion, I would like to say, please stay tuned. Go to Step and Cham. I have a YouTube channel. It's important I promote that because I will live on in cyberspace long after I die. Just like the plastic on the cover of this great book, Growing, this is a segue, an autobiography of the years 1904 to 1911. Right. That's right. Give him a round.
I'm sorry to interrupt myself. So we've come to the fabulous part of the evening with these fabulous prizes. Design of Your Mind and Mine will be distributed. Please shuffle those, if you wouldn't mind.
Spin to win, baby.
Oh, just a couple, you know, because I didn't. There you go. Randomize. And so these are the prizes. Growing, an autobiography of 1904 to 1911. A lot happened in those years. I wasn't born then.
Where?
The Bestiary of Ouida by the author of In Patagonia, Bruce Chatwin. I have not read this, but someone said, oh, you got that? Night by Julia Vinograd. Great poems in here. She's always a great reader. And this is The Dirt Road. The Dirt is read here. Art and poetry from native California. So I have read some of these great illustrations, very nice. You could choose to be the upcoming mini feature that Marissa was this evening. You could decide to be the new thing, the keynote opener, the person who reads a poem, very first thing, by someone else, a very well-known poem or something, but it's not yours, and you can simply get the mic and read fabulous magazines over there. So I have a drum roll, please. Thanks so much. We have great poems.